Well, the U.S. economy is like an automobile, capable of going 70 miles an hour, and we're going about 35, 40. Better than zero where we were 2 years ago, but this has been one of the most weak recoveries in U.S. history. Almost always after a severe downturn, you get a sharp upturn. This one's been a very, very real exception. A lot of headwinds out there, and the administration's adding to them instead of reducing them. Well, the U.S. economy will grow this year. I think we will create about 2.5 million plus new jobs. Again, it's not what it should be, but it's at least moving in the right direction. I don't think we're going to get a double dip, but the uncertainty coming from Obamacare, uncertainty about taxes, the whole spending battle is a real weight out there. I think some of these are going to be tackled, but in the meantime, uncertainty is not good for a robust economy.
Absolutely.
Wisconsin and Milwaukee's become the poster child for reforms and getting states back on their feet again. The spending binge cannot go on. You cannot have a public sector which is making much more money than the private sector and have more job security. The resources for the public sector comes from productive people in the private sector. So if you make substantive changes, positive reforms, there's no reason why Wisconsin shouldn't do very well. It's a nice place. It's a nice style of living. And so if you make reforms on the structure of the state, if you make reforms on taxes, which I think Governor Walker would like to do before his term is up, Wisconsin should be highly competitive because high technology enables you to have the world at your fingertips, regardless of geography. So this should be boom time for Wisconsin, but it takes growing pains. The stock market, I think, is going to do well this year. We have to remember it's still far below what it was in real terms 12 years ago, but I think the market's going to see that the political process in this country is working. Spending is now an issue in a way that it's never been in my lifetime, and I think real things are starting to be done. You're starting to see it on the federal level, led by Congressman Paul Ryan, in trying to take some real substantive steps and now and in future years. I think there's going to be real tax reform after 2012. There will be a mandate to do that. So you put that together, and I think we're beginning to see the system heal itself just as it did in the early 1980s. Well, we've already had inflation, and that's why our standard of living has gone nowhere for 10 years. When you trash the dollar, financial markets are hurt, productive investment is hurt, living standards are hurt. So it's already happened. Now it's showing up in food prices and fuel prices, which will also be a drag on the economy, why we're not going 70, why we're stuck at 30, 35. And the Federal Reserve and the administration is oblivious to it, absolutely ignorant of it, or don't realize the damage that it's doing. And the previous administration, to be blunt, allowed a weak dollar when it should not have. A weak dollar is like getting drunk at a party. It's great when you're tanking up, but then the morning comes after, and it assumes that everything else stays the same. Well, manifestly it does not. Costs are going up, which is going to hurt manufacturing in this country. Not having the kind of capital expenditures we normally would have. That hurts. Remember, after inflation was killed in the 1980s and the dollar strengthened, we had a great 20, 25-year boom. So when the dollar is stable, everyone gets ahead. And whatever you get short-term by trashing your money is more than made up by what you pay for at home in a sluggish economy, and then costs catch up with you, and then you got to get another fix.